And I actually found some of my original pictures when I first started shooting Prospect Park. This is when I first went there, like 1980, to start shooting. So I'm gonna put all this in the book to help people understand the journey, you know, from my early days to where I'm at right now. And this is a print that Bridget Freed gave me. I have another original one. So ironic, I never met her husband, but now I'm able to get prints. You know, of a book that I read when I was a 9-year-old kid that would change my life forever. So imagine, I'm a young kid, 9 years old, looking at this book, Black and White America, and how this one book would change my life, and never knowing, you know, the science behind it. All I know that my father had a signed copy of this on our coffee table. And as a kid, I went through this entire book. First looking at the pictures and reading it at 9 years old, and then some 40 years later, I would meet Bridget Freed, who would break this down to me and say I was there. I printed all of the work to give me more insight on her husband. What's ironic about Leonard Freed, he went to the same high school I went to. Same high school, of course, many years earlier. And he lived in the same neighborhood that I would go on the photograph. So the neighborhood that I photographed, the East Flatbush back in the days, Leonard Freed lived in that same neighborhood. So he moved out, but I would go on and document that, and that would make my work. So now I'm connected with him in a way that I would never imagine in my life. And when I first came home from the military, my father gave me this book to read again and said, you want to learn photography? Study this book here. And that's where I developed a lot of my ideas. This is like the early days. You know, that's Germany right there. That's Germany. That's when I had the 4x6. That's a picture of me when I was 15. So that'd be that's when I realized that I can kind of like do this. It ain't the greatest shot, but it's a group shot. And I was 16 years old when I shot that. Me and Howard go back to the 1990s, and I consider him a big brother. You know, we got a lot of history with each other, so I've always admired him and respected him. And since our show early this year on the Black Man, you know, which is I would consider a very successful show.
It was a very successful show.
It was our first really great collaboration, and we believed in just the momentum. With the success of that show, you know, it happened. It lasted for a couple of months. We decided to continue. It's about momentum. And then Howard brought the idea to my attention. And I said, wow, to have a chance to collaborate again. Because when working with him, I saw how professional he was and meticulous he was, how on point he was. I said, man, I'm honored to work with you again on a project that means a lot to me. And then in my hometown. So I'm curious. So with this whole idea of this shoot, what was the vision behind it?
Well, you know, it was a conversation with my girl Dee Dwyer, which is like my goddaughter down in D.C., and we were talking about. She had just did a shoot of go-go musicians in the D.C. area. You know, the groups, the musicians, so on and so forth. So I thought about it. I said, well, we haven't done anything like that in New York in a while. The last thing I remember is the hip hop thing done by Gordon. And so I said, because I remember once when I was at the Schomburg, we did a show, 2011, and a lot of kids came through, and it was their largest show they had ever had at the Schomburg. This was before Howard Johnson left, and little kids said we didn't know they were Black photographers, because it's a level of expression that's in all of us. To be able to utilize the camera to tell your story and other people's stories is wonderful. You know, and like I said, the camera is what has brought all of us together, and it's not going anywhere. So we just want to be able to take it to another height. World Photography Day is really August 19th.
Oh, 19, okay.
But August 17th was Marcus Garvey's birthday. And so that's on a Saturday. So on Saturday, it's comfortable for everybody to make it out. So we're shooting it on the 17th in a twofold thing, to bring people together under the arts, under photography, under the camera, and also to pay tribute. It just happened to fall into Marcus Garvey.
Any final thoughts?
Let's do it.
everybody's story is different. Everybody's story needs to be told. You know, so don't be afraid, you know, to just enjoy it, you know, because I enjoy photography. This photography took me places where I never thought I'd be. You know what I'm saying? It changed my life. I was on the corner selling drugs, begging God to get off. God put a camera in my hand, I ain't looked back yet. You know what I'm saying?
Once again, it's a blessing to be in the presence of all of you creative minds. We have all been given a divine gift of creativity. We have the ability to freeze time and motion. And with that gift, we can make a difference in this world. Gordon spoke about the camera being a weapon of choice. We all have this weapon that we can use to make a difference, to create counter narratives. You know what I mean? So we need all hands on deck as we get ready to approach 2025. And I think as photographers, we can make a big difference. I mean, so the harvest is few, but the harvest is great, but the labors are few. So we need everybody right now to work together as a collective to get in fellowship with one another. Let's make this a truly great day in Brooklyn by getting to know one another, showing love towards one another, and moving forward to make this world a better place.
My name is Dr. Myra Brown Green.
What do you do?
I archive art. My book, Brooklyn on My Mind, and I'm coming out with a book called Keepers of a Movement, Celebrating the Black Collectors. And I just want to say how valuable archiving is. So I'm really, really happy about when we can archive. So this is so historical and so valuable and so important.
Michelle Agins is a Pulitzer Prize-winning photojournalist for the New York Times.
You know, so, but what I am specifically is a photographer, a filmmaker, and a scholar. Charles Daniel Dawson.
Because this was given to me, I was blessed with this from my mentor, OG Joseph Rodriguez.
I went from the Pentax K1000, and when my mother, God rest her soul, saw that I was serious about what I was doing, she presented me with a Nikon F.
This was selling posters, and Mrs. Park was walking around. Nobody even paid any attention to her because they didn't know who she was. But I recognized her just in time to catch her holding up a poster of Malcolm X.
All of these things started really changing things for me. But I think the thing that changed the most was to see the support and the love that that my wife had for the change that she was seeing as a result of my passion with photography.
I love documentation. So I would think photojournalism and documentation and storytelling. Telling people about things or people that are not heard or not seen.
My name is Azim Thomas, and I've been documenting for 28 years of my life. We just lost a very great man in photography. His name was Cletus Smith.
That's right.
He was an African-American
Say that
photographer.
name again.
Cletus Smith. He was an African-American photographer, and he just passed. You understand? And I dedicate this photo shoot to him. You know, had he lived, he would have been here among us. And it's very important to document our history, because once we document our history, our future generations are able to know the path that we came through and what we've been through. So I'll tell everybody here, keep on shooting.
Beautiful, beautiful. Y'all look so beautiful. What a blessing to be in this family here. I gotta get him a shot here.
can use yours, but it's all good. You gotta let the exclusivity of Jamel. You gotta go that way. Go that way. You gotta go that way. That's the down. You gotta go that way. You gotta go that way. You gotta go main. You gotta go down. Yes, I'll take that. You gotta go there. All right, ready?
All right, here we go. On three. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's get some energy. 1, 2, 3.
We basically are forming bridges, relationships, documenting folks that are here with us today, giving some of their stories, some of their outlooks on life, telling our stories.